laptops, and those ever so convenient USB drives that you carry around with you. Yep, that's right. They're all part of the cyber world. So when you work and play in cyberspace, your information is at risk of being nabbed or compromised by everyone else that has a browser, a phone, a wireless access point, blah, 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 blah. Maybe you find that scary, and you should. But get your head out of the sand. There are things you can do to protect yourself. A little more on the tricks and traps you'll find out there than on to how to wear the cyber armor. You can't wait? Aw, that's music to my ears. And speaking of music... Hey there, cats and kittens! Settle back and enjoy a sampling of tunes brought to you by defenseless computers everywhere. These groovy tunes will remind you that you leave your mark wherever you go out there in that big, bad World Wide Web. And that cyber world can be filled with candy, cookies, and cockroaches. So open wide and say, ah! Yeah. Part of the hacker hits from the 50s. It's Cookie Cookie. Won't you remember me? The web browser cookie. We trust them. We use them to store info about us. They make us memorable as we revisit our old web haunts. Listen, be careful. They can do you harm and leak information about you. Cookies store some of our most critical information, such as usernames, passwords, email info, and credit card numbers. If a bad guy gets a hold of your cookies, he can see the sites you visit, steal your identity, and even get into sites using your digits. No need to fret, though. You can take control. Set your browser to block cookies. Then whitelist only the ones you want to allow. And never, ever, 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 ever choose the option to remember a password for locations that are important, like your email and online shopping sites. While we're on the topic, can I ask you confidentially, are you a one-password lover? Be careful. This has all the makings of a bad country song. Yeah! Such dedication. You got one love and you're sticking to it. You're a one-password surfer, and that's just your way of saying, well, take me as I am. They're going to take you all right. Well, think about it like this. If the one-password-fits-all method makes things easy for you, it's going to make hacking your box a piece of cake. When you sign up for a web service, all the people that work there can see your name and maybe your password too. Even if they're okay, maybe someone hacks in. And suddenly, they've got your name and password, Mrs. Redskins 123. What happens if they try to log into other major web services you subscribe to? Bingo. You'll be crying boo-hoo country blues. Use strong and unique passwords for all your accounts. And make them like a snowflake. No two the same. Here's one that's near and dear to my heart. It's every search you make, I'll be watching you. A search engine is a beautiful thing. Oh, Google, you broaden me. You make the whole web my oyster. Who knew that you were two-timing me all along? It's sad, but true. Search engines store all your search data, sometimes for years. Be careful about doing too many searches with the same search engine. Again, too much data makes you very predictable. Can I get a hat? And if you use mapping tools online, you don't always need to search for an address. Try using a zip code instead. It's close enough that you'll be able to get there without taking a web snooper right to the resident or company's front door. And get this. If you're logged into your mail and then you use the same search service like Yahoo Mail or Yahoo Search capability, then they can tie your searches directly to your profile. Just log out before searching. Ain't it nice to be known? And who can forget this old favorite? You're not who I thought you were. Watch out for imposters, mon ami. They'll steal your heart every time. The mission of an imposter site is to lead you off track, way off track. They look downright bona fide, like the real deal, and the URL might only be off by a letter or two. But trust me, nothing good will come once you hit the load button. Just no telling who or what's behind the fake storefront. Imposter sites generally mirror legitimate destinations and use common URL misspellings to get you there. And once you're in, they play on your confusion and get you to put in a username, a password, a credit card number, maybe worse. You, thinking it's the site that you've grown to love and trust, will usually comply. And then, you're all theirs. Now, if you make a habit of typing all your web addresses in a search engine, instead, the search will lead to your legitimate site, even if you're a lousy speller. As a matter of fact, some search engines and antivirus programs even have anti-imposter protections built right in. But they only work when you're searching, not when you type the name directly into the URL field. Sound like a hassle? Compare that to the hassle of a compromised account. That's what I'm talking about. Want to protect yourself even more? Sure you do. Turn off scripting, Flash, and other advanced browsing features. They make the web fun, but they also make it dangerous. And don't blindly follow links sent in emails or one that are randomly posted to your MySpace and Facebook profiles. Okay, last ditty, I promise. How about a little ballad that sings of the folly of fake alerts? Every web user should be on the lookout for fake alerts. They look like legitimate warnings or system messages, but they're far from it. Sometimes they're easy to spot because they totally appear in a browser window, but we want to believe them so badly. We take the bait because they look shiny and legit, like they really want to help us. The phony fake can't harm you if you don't click on it, so just turn away. Just turn away. Are you still looking? I said turn away, dude. Okay, I know it's hard. If you're not sure if the alert is fake, just close all your browser windows from the taskbar. If the alert goes away, you're safe. If the alert is still there, the alert is real. But the instructions might not be. The bad alerts always name a website or tool to check out. But go and research it first from a search engine. If the first 20 links all give you advice on how to get rid of the tool or warn you not to touch it, take the hint. Just close the alert and go about your business. Listen, there are enough sad cyber songs to fill a box set. Folk tales about ActiveX and Java. Access blues tunes about 1Password Wanda. Phishing foibles about sad suckered Sammy. I know them all by heart. There just ain't enough time in the day to teach them all to you. So you're going to have to research them on your own. These problems all begin when we think we're invincible. Know where the vulnerabilities are and take measures to shut them down immediately. And that's the name of that tune.
Think that old jukebox is all there is in the big bag of bad guy tricks? There are plenty more ways to get burned in cyberspace. Emails, chat rooms, IM, forums, blogs, and wikis, and VoIP, oh my. And oh yeah, they all have the same vulnerabilities. Sketchy security and plenty of room for human error. Not the least of which is, there's no way to tell who you're really talking to.
Frankly, this is a real problem. When you're online, how do you really know who you're speaking with? Think of people with net friends, people that have developed a friendship or some sort of relationship online, but they've never actually met in person. Maybe that person's who they say they are, maybe not. In the security business, we call the tactic of leveraging a relationship social engineering. If I'm a bad guy, I might take on a fake online persona for all kinds of reasons. Maybe I need some specific information I can get you to divulge or some task performed, like software installed, or a web link clicked if I pretend to be your company's IT guy. Maybe I want you to call a certain phone number or download some tool or attachment. Whatever it is, it's some action that I can exploit to gain more access if you're dumb enough to act without validating the credentials of the individual you're dealing with. What did P.T. Barnum say? There's a sucker born every minute. People fall for this online ID thing all the time.
What can I say? It looked like a real email. I mean, it said it was from my bank. I even checked the from field and the reply field to be sure. It all checked out. Don't the banks have something to prevent people from faking emails in their name?
I got this email, okay? It said my friends posted a picture of me and to click on the link to see it. When I clicked the link, the page came up. It looked just like the real site. So yeah, I logged in. Next thing I know, my password stolen, my entire address book totally spammed. I'm not only embarrassed, but I have a lot of friends who are pretty ticked. Now they're getting infected emails from what looks like my email address.
The bad guys aren't stupid. They know if an email doesn't look legit, you won't bite. So they mimic a known sender. Amazon, eBay, your bank, your company CEO. They have to make it as real as possible so they can trick you into responding. And as a general rule, you should always be suspicious of administrative or security emails, financial emails, or messages that have attachments, especially when they're not signed or if you weren't expecting the message. Look, it takes like 10 seconds to verify an email before you open it. Pick up the phone and call or email the sender at a known email address to make sure they sent it before acting. When you send an email with an attachment, you can make it easy for the person on the other end to validate the attachment's authenticity. Yeah, digital signatures work, but they are not foolproof. Include a bit of text that lets them know it's really you. Something simple like, "Great to see you last Thursday." Anything that proves you are who you say you are. Stuff that a bad guy wouldn't know.
Let's assume you do know who you're communicating with online. Problem solved, right? Well, not exactly. Even if you can, without a doubt, identify who you're communicating with, the internet still isn't secure. Let me say it again. The internet is not secure. No matter how you communicate online, by default it's not encrypted, and prying eyes will be able to see.
So do you email your work home?
Of course. I email my work to my personal account all the time. It lets me leave the office a few minutes early, beat rush hour, get in some personal time with my family and get back to it. Everybody does it. What's the big deal?
9. My hypothesis proves that there is nothing to prevent someone from intercepting data during transmission. Well, this can be done through tapping the communication line, or more simply, by controlling the router passing the information between servers. Routers are designed to open data packets just far enough to read the addressing information. But, Achtung, there is nothing to stop them from going further. And intercepted data can be snooped, manipulated without the sender or recipient having a clue. And who knows what else? Very clear now, yeah?
So there's good news, okay? There are plenty of things people have come up with to add security to online communications. The first step is to get set up with the right tools. But the second, and maybe the most important step, is to actually use them. How's that for a concept? You might need specialized software or hardware for important work functions. But even the most basic computer can resist threats with a few commercially available tools. There's a boatload of freebies out there, and I gotta say, some are pretty good.
Every major browser and website has basic encryption features for activities like logging in or secure shopping, but it's a user's job to look for signs from the browser. They need to be sure they can see the lock icon, or an S, that stands for secure at the end of the HTTP in their URL bar. This tells them that the web traffic is encrypted. It's not a silver bullet. There's no single solution that provides absolute security, but it's a start. Data can still be lost, mishandled, you name it. Protect the line between you and the sites you visit. Make sure your login details and data aren't out there for everyone to see. It's especially important when you first log in and when you're shopping from hotspots in hotels and airports and coffee shops. And don't even get me started on internet security abroad.
Howdy-ho! You're off duty. It's time to relax. Surf the web, check out a few blogs, update a wiki, post some photos of the kiddos on Facebook, comment in a forum or two, tweet a few lines. Some of it is uninhibited, but that's the point. After all, only your friends will see it. Why would anyone else even care? Yeah, bet that's what these people thought.
The undisclosed location of a U.S. military base is secret no more, thanks to these photos posted on Flickr by some of the service members stationed there. Security experts say equipment and other identifiers in the shot's background, along with GPS tags added by the digital camera that took the shots, has allowed the location of the facility to be identified.
One area businessman embarrassed himself this week when the leak of important financial and strategic information about his company was traced back to his own Facebook account. It started when he accepted the friend request of someone claiming to be an acquaintance from business school, and the two began corresponding. It turns out the profile was an elaborate hoax constructed from public records by a creative competitor.
This just in, the Marine Corps has ordered social media sites, Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, and others banned from its networks effective immediately. The order cited a high risk of information leakage and stated that the banned sites are, quote, a proven haven for malicious actors and content. They present a particularly high risk due to information exposure, unvetted user-generated content, and targeting by U.S. adversaries, end quote.
Getting the picture? It's not just your college buddies checking out your online profile. You might be alone when you post it, but the whole wicked world is on the other end of your mouse, just waiting to use your benign data stream to slam you. So, let's say you screw up. You posted something, now you're having second thoughts. Try to pull it down, but act quickly. The window is short. Search bots and web crawlers constantly search the web for new content. And the rule of thumb is that once it's out there for good. And the best part? Posting dumb stuff doesn't require a bad guy to screw up your life. You can do that all on your own. Let's join the next program already in session. Medic!
Thank you, Stoney. We're here today with IT expert Raymond Smythe discussing the new cyber threat. So, Mr. Smythe, we're becoming a portable world, able to access information from wherever we are, whenever we want. What sort of security concerns